What is up, you guys? TITOBODS here, and yesterday was the last draw or the last day of our Golden Expedition fights, and today is the first day of recovery. Now, as you can see from your screen, we have 1 million deaths during the war, and then look at the difference or the gap in points between us and the number 1 kingdom here in the Stolar Territory. We have number 37, and look at the points. So, as you can see with this, it was really a nail biter from each of the two kingdoms or empires. Now, the thing is that we have the points early on, and eventually they caught up. And during the last few minutes, it was a real nail biter because there was an up and down in points. They have the higher points, then a few minutes later, we have the higher points, and eventually they won in the end. Although, as you can see from my deaths in my account, the 1 million deaths is just only a spare change compared to the whales or the krakens that we have in the game. Honestly, this is my best that I can give on this event because all or almost all of this 1 million deaths are from my main lineups that I usually use. We still did a good job during the fight, so we have 279 million points, so we ranked 4th in our server, and cross server we did also okay at top 9. And look at the point disparity. So we are only at 274. Then the top 5 is almost at 400. So that's actually the point disparity because most of these players are more than 120 mil in power. Now, as a spender in the game, is it really hard to get good points and placement in the rankings if you are a free-to-play player or a low spender? Of course not, as long as you do the things that is needed to participate and give your alliance and kingdom points. So in the Golden Expedition, we have a lot of things that we can do even if we are not fighting a lot of fights. And today's video is all about my top 10 things that you need to do in the Golden Expedition so that you can contribute in the game. And one of the players or free-to-play players that I know of that I want to highlight since they are a friend of ours from the game is actually Sky. So look at her points. She is a free-to-play player, 100% free-to-play player, and she scored 164 million points in the overall ranking of the server. In the cross server, of course, she is also here, but maybe a bit lower than usual. Look at that. So 31st. But still, if you are the same as a free-to-play player or a low spender, you can actually do higher maybe or on the same level as she did. That is why this video is made just for you. But before we dive deep into this video or my top 10 things you need to do in the GEE to dominate as a free-to-play or a low spender, kindly like this video first and make sure to share it with your friends. And I do really appreciate every one of you guys who have already subscribed to the channel and making our channel at a 2,000 subscriber mark. And if you are new to the channel and if you like Age of Empires mobile content or you have been watching our videos and haven't yet subscribed, please do so and don't forget to ring the bell so you will always be notified soon as we have a new video just for you. So identify first your opponent is my number 1 on the top 10 list that I made for you guys. So number 1 is to identify your opponents. So doing so, you will know which player from your opponent's kingdom that you can actually take on. So that's actually one of the important things that you can do on the early stage of the event. So in the early stages of the event, you will see right off your opponent. So one thing you can do is you can check out their rankings and their players in the menu. Anyway, next up is know when to join the war elephant and where. So the thing that you can do is first is to check what or where the first elephant was held so that you will know the timing or so that you will know the locations of the next elephants. Now for the timing of the war elephant, so first things first is to take on the first elephant so that you will know if your opponent is actually attacking you during the war elephant. And also second off is to know which or what time zone does your opponent actually play the elephants. And also doing that will, if ever they don't attend the first elephant, you will have the first advantage of the points from the elephant. Also take note that there is a limit for the war elephants per day. So if you haven't yet finished the threshold for the day, make sure that you join the war elephant event. Even though it's the 3rd time or 4th time, as long as you haven't yet finished your max battle points for your war elephant, make sure that you do so. Now, third thing is that know where to position in the map. So during the event, you will have your own flag area wherein you can deploy your city. Now, the other thing is that you can actually still teleport even if it's not a flagged area. So, for example, this is our flags. So, as you can see in the map, there are areas wherein there are empty slots, right? Now, knowing where your opponents are, for example, we are here and we are the top alliance. So, if you are going to invade us, for example, you want to go. So, you're going to go to our server, for example. You are going to identify first where is the top alliance, where is the second alliance, which is there over here, and then where is the third alliance, which is there actually here somewhere. But anyway, so you have to identify the 3 alliances. Now, next up is understanding the downtime of your opponent. So as I've said earlier in the War Elephant event, the thing that you really need to check out is your opponent's activities. So if you cannot check it out on the first elephant, what you can do is check it out for yourself after reset. So check their activities out after reset, identify their places in the map or their alliance places in their map, and check out if they are having their activities. Some of the other kingdoms or other empires are going to be aggressive. So most of them are going to teleport or port in your area. So if the first instance of the fight or after the reset, they are actively teleporting or porting, it means that that is their uptime. So most of their players, especially their whales or krakens, are going to be up by then. So what you need to do is during those times, if you are a free-to-play player or low spenders, make sure that you check out those times that they are active and when they are not active anymore, so that you will know when to participate in the fight and also when you can do a sneaky attacks. Next up is how to get 3 to 4 guardians in one teleport. Actually, that is a possible thing to do. Sometimes you can do only 2, especially on the center part of the map or on the innermost part of the map. But you can actually do 3 to 4 guardians in the outer part of the map, like this one, for example. So if you are here, there will actually be 4 available guardians in this in a cross pattern. So make sure that you are in the center of that and that you are away from a lot of fights. So the best time to do this is actually during the downtime of your opponent, and do this in their map so that it's easier for you, and also in the process you can do your dailies. We all know that the teleports here are going to be a little bit expensive, especially if you're going to get a lot of guardians for the rewards. So make sure you do that. Now, next up is how to set up your farm. So what I do is, for example, you are going off and it's an uptime for your opponent. What you can do is actually go to a center of the map. For example, let's say here in just the outermost, and then you go in the middle. For example, here. Okay, once you are here, what you can do is, if you're going to sleep, just bubble up, right? Next up is what you can do is spread your farmers, and make sure what I do is all my farmers are going to be cavalries. So even if my commanders are not cavalry, I make the troops cavalry so that they can move towards the farm tile quicker, and also they can run back if they need to. For example, you ported here in the middle, and then next what you need to do is move your troops far away. So you look for an area far away from your citadel, and then look for an area or a tile that is close to a tree, because it's going to be harder for anyone scanning the map to see your troop that way. Because, oh, this is the best place here. As an example, this is one of the best examples here. You can see when you go there, they won't really see you when they scan, because sometimes they're going to scan like this, and then they can't see you from that tree. Especially if you are the opponent, you're going to be red. They cannot see you like that here. So they're going to miss that out. And especially, they're not going to go scan for or that far off from your original citadel. So do that for your 4 farms, I say, or 3 farms, and then make or place your city here, for example. And then your 2 remaining farm, or 1 farm, if you want just 1, you can place it near your city. For example, this is your city. Your lumber camp is your city, for example. And then you have a tile here. What you can do to trick your enemy or your opponent is to place your best lineup hero or your best troop here, farming this one, for example. And then you don't have any other ones in the map. So what they'll do is they'll TP here, and they'll try to attack this one for sure. And then if you are lucky, the enemy that attacked you sometimes are at your level, you can fight them off. You will get good trades in the process, or at least a little bit of trade in the process. You'll get points that way also. Now, another thing that's going to be on their mind is that they already attacked your farmer, so they won't be looking for your other farmers anymore. So your other four farmers or gatherers are going to be safe. The next step I want to tell you is a very straightforward step, which is to know when to fight and who to fight. So by scanning their server or the enemy's empire rankings, you will already know this from what I have told you earlier. And then make sure that if you want to fight, you can actually, for example, you're on, you want to fight, you want to look for a fight, make sure you scan the areas first. And first thing I scan first thing I scan in the area is if there are guardians. So mostly there are areas that are being scanned, and then when there are guardians, for sure sometimes there are enemies, either enemies, opponents, or either your alliance members or kingdom members are actually attacking that guardian. So sometimes when you do that, you'll be lucky and see or maybe you can see someone of your level or your power level that you can take on, and you can port there and you can attack their troops. So that's one thing. Second thing is actually, for example, you are in your map and then your opponents are actually porting into your map. What you can do is when they are farming, you're looking for their city. So sometimes they do what I did tell you earlier in this video. So what you're going to do is scan the map, but slowly look for the places that you think they placed their troops. So you're going to do the reverse mentality of what I told you earlier in your farming. So you will do the same. You will scan first the areas near him and then the areas far away from him if you have time to scan that. Next off is look for this is where also you will benefit from knowing where their alliances are or which alliances are top, second, and third. So if I were you, I'm going to go for the third alliance because most likely some of the players there are easier to fight, and also you will have good chance to actually take on their farmers. So next up is you can also do coordinated attacks with your alliance members. So I already did mention this one, but as I've said, if you're going to attack anyone in the map, especially if you are reinforcing, you are going to a place where your friends or your alliance members tip you and in the chat, they're looking for help. Make sure that you have someone with you porting in. Don't port solo, especially if you're a free-to-play player or a low spender, because chances are whales are going to target you, especially big whales like, for example, our top player. What they're going to do is going to focus your citadel, and you won't have anyone to support your city or reinforce your city so that you will have good trades. So make sure that you port with a friend. The next step is when you port to that area, for example, make sure you have one troop on your friends or your allies city, so that you at least give them help when you ported, and vice versa. You can also ask them to give you at least one troop, so that both of you are a bit protected from the points, and also some whales are going to be hesitant to attack your city. So that's actually a good thing if you're going to ask me. It really will help you a lot, especially in the battles. The last one is that I want to tell you is a very, very important one, but a very basic one. Make sure that you use bubble or you use your shields, your peace shields, when you are going offline. Make sure that you use your peace shield wisely when you log off. Use your peace shield, or if not, go to your alliance hive and then ask your alliance to at least get one piece of troop, or maybe 2 or 3. But if you cannot do that, make sure you bubble up. So anywhere in the map that a whale or a kraken can actually reach you, make sure you bubble up. Also true for the last minutes of the fights, when you are not going to fight anymore and it's like the last few minutes or last few hours of the fight, and you only can, or you don't have any more troops. So you can still get points with farming and doing dailies, and make sure in the last few hours of the fight your shield is up, because if you are not going to fight, your shield won't be wasted, because it's an 8-hour peace shield, and you can actually sometimes clutch your win by doing that. So that is my top 10 tips for GEE for my free-to-play player, low spenders, or even spender friends who are watching this video. What do you think about these tips, and do you have some additional things that you want to add? What other things do you think I missed in these tips? And also, do you agree with some of them, or did you already experience some of the scenarios that I have given as an example? And if ever you have any other questions or whatever your thoughts are, please do leave them all in the comment section down below, and for sure we're going to talk about it. Anyway, guys, hope these tips will help you be a better player or better member of your kingdom for the Golden Expedition next time. And please don't forget to like our video. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, I will leave a tip link down below, or you can scan this barcode here in the screen and you will help us a lot do in the process, and this will help me do more video contents like this in the future. And anyway, thank you for always supporting the channel. For those of you guys who hasn't yet subscribe to the channel, please do so and ring that bell so you will always be notified soon as we have a new video just for you guys. Anyway, as always, this is your Tito Buds. Have a great day to everyone, and I will see you in the next one.